Alright guys, so today I'm finally going to be installing a front camera on my Corolla. So it should be a pretty simple install. I mean, as long as you have an Android head unit or something that you can actually connect to. So as you can see, I mean, if you guys follow me, I just installed a new radio. This one has the function to have a front camera added to it. So I ordered a front camera off of eBay. This is the only place I could find a front camera that will fit. And this will actually be going inside the Toyota emblem, like on the front of the car. So, which is actually gonna be really cool. It's gonna blend in like on the car really nicely, like some of the newer Toyotas that come with a front camera. So it comes with all the cables you need. And pretty much all you're gonna need is just some wire strippers, a pry tool. Oh, I guess you're gonna need some crimps to crimp the wire together. And then like a coat hanger or something, so that way we can run the wire through the from the engine bay into the cabin, so that way we can get to the behind the radio. So like I was saying, first thing you're going to do is get access to the back of your radio. On the Corolla, you're just going to pop off some of these plastic trim pieces, and they just pull towards you. And then there's plastic trim pieces on the top. I already broke mine loose. And then now we have access to our radio, which is snapped in on a clip down here. You'll just pull it out and then not scratch your screen up. And so now the wires that we're going to be looking for the front camera is going to be aux video in. So you're going to look for, hopefully the camera will focus on that, aux VN. So it's going to be a yellow cable for video, and then you're going to look for an accessory power, so that way you're going to connect the power to this. So every time you turn on your accessory power, the camera will be powered up with it. And I was trying to film this video earlier. You can see my car is all wet. It was raining for like 15-20 minutes, so I had to stop. And now, super sunny, bright outside, and it's very humid. So, but hopping into the box, you're not gonna get any of this stuff, but there's gonna be the camera with the video and power in. Then you're gonna get another cord. So this is gonna be this long cord right here. Is gonna be the cord that we got our fish through the firewall to get to the back of the radio. And then you'll have another cord for power for the camera. So I'll try to explain all this as I'm going, but it's fairly simple as long as you understand a little bit about what's going on. You're gonna connect your long cable that has the video in to the video in on the camera, and then the power plug plugs into this. And then off of the power plug, you're gonna have a black and red wire. So red's gonna be positive, black's gonna be ground, and you're gonna connect this positive wire to the positive wire coming out of this video right here. You can connect the red to the red. Then the black is just gonna get grounded out either to the battery or a bolt on the chassis. And then all that's gonna be inside the engine bay. Then you'll come over here, and then on the other end of this, you're gonna have another video plug right here. That's gonna plug into the aux video into the car, and then this red power is gonna connect to that auxiliary power on the back of your radio. So hopefully your radio has this. Otherwise, you'll have to find another spot to get power when the car is turned on. And you do not want to wire this strictly to the battery, because then it will stay on all the time and probably drain your battery. So but like I said, it's fairly simple. It looks a little bit complicated, but it is fairly simple. All right, so coming to the front of the car, like I said, this camera is going to go inside the middle of the Toyota emblem. So we're probably, it's going to fit like that, but backwards. We're going to have to drill a hole into this. I don't know if it'll be easier to take this off. or just drill a hole straight into it, because we're gonna have to drill a hole big enough to fit this round piece into there. All right, I'm gonna start with a 1/2 inch drill, and I'm gonna start. All right, so I don't know if you guys saw, but I tried to drill a hole. Well, I didn't try, I did drill the hole, but the drill kind of got stuck and literally just pulled this whole thing out. Luckily, it doesn't look like it broke any of the clips that I'm seeing, so I should hopefully be able to put this right back in. But I'm going to drill that hole open bigger now that I have it off, and so that way I can fit that piece through here. Alright, you guys, so after about a few minutes of drilling, I started with a 1/2 inch drill, wasn't nearly close. I moved to, I think this is a 9/16 drill, and it's got closer, but it wasn't close enough. I believe it's probably around 5/8. I didn't have a 5/8 drill, so I just kept taking this drill and I just kept like going in and out around the sides, like how you're not supposed to use a drill. And I got it to fit, and it fits nicely. But I just realized there's really no way to hold this in. So I'm probably gonna get some hot glue and just put some hot glue around the back side, so that way the camera will actually stay in, because I just realized there's like no way to hold on to this at all. As sooner or later it'll probably pop out. So yeah, I'm gonna get some hot glue, put some hot glue on the back so that way it'll hold it in, and then we can try to snap this emblem back in. Alright, so while that hot glue stick is warming up, I just want to show you guys what else I'm going to do real quick. So, behind the emblem, looks like there's another thin, very thin plastic piece. And my drill hit it already, but I got to drill it out bigger. But since it's so thin, I'm just going to take a razor blade and just cut out. And hopefully that should be enough now for I think it will be, but we'll have to see in a second. And it turns out too, you guys are gonna have to also drill through this back piece too. I thought this came out and actually went behind, but it doesn't. So we're gonna have to drill another hole through that. It's very thin, easy plastic to drill through, so. And if you do mess up, you put your emblem back on and nobody will know. Alright, so my hot glue should be pretty good. So now I'm just gonna take it. Just kind of squeeze some around the outside. And that should be plenty to hold this camera in place. Alright, so I finally got everything mounted on here. So you can see the emblems back on here. And then the camera's mounted in here. And so far, all I've done is just push this cable through. I've just pushed this cable through, and now I'm trying to figure out how I want to wire it. I'm probably going to follow along some wires down here and then come out through here to the battery. Alright, so like I was showing you, I got the wire routed to over by the battery now, and I have this plugged in, and now I'm ready to run that video cable with the power wire through the firewall. I'm gonna try to get you can kind of see my blue, that's my sub amp wire going into there. That's pretty much where I'm going to be pushing this through, and all I did was just electrical tape this really good to that coat hanger, and now I'm just gonna push it through and find it underneath the driver footwell. Alright, so I got this pulled through. Now we're gonna untape this from the coat hanger and run those wires to behind the radio so we can plug them in. All right, so I got the long cable pulled through that was underneath the footwell. I popped off that panel right underneath the footwell. And then if you look into the radio, you can literally see my pedals. And all I did was just fish the cable up through, and then I just grabbed it with my other hand and started pulling it through. So, and like I was saying, these cables, the red one's gonna go to the accessory power, and then the yellow plug-in one's gonna go to the aux video in. And then on the other side, here's the other end of that cable, and you're gonna have the positive and then the video. The video is gonna plug into the camera here, and then the positive is gonna go to the red one coming out of this cable right here, and then the black one probably gonna ground it out to the battery. I'm probably gonna ground this out to the battery right here, or if I can find a good chassis ground, I'll ground it out there. Alright guys, so I got the inside all wired up, got the video over here, got the aux all soldered, not soldered in, but crimped in with the heat shrink around it. And then I just bundled up all the excess wire and put a zip tie around it. So, and then just throw that in the back of the radio. Now we're ready to button this up, and then we gotta finish up wiring under the hood. Alright you guys, so I got everything all wired up. I got my ground cable right here. I put a little heat shrink around the thing to try to make it look nicer. And then the cable, that cable right here, I tried to run as good as I can with all the other random cables I got. And then the power cable, I crimped it together and put some heat shrink around it. And then I connected it here. So now everything's all connected. I just tested everything, and it seems to be working fine. So you can go to your settings, and hopefully you have a front video app. If you don't, you might find like an aux video or something. You can click it, and now we got front camera. It's awesome to have a front camera now on this. So it might not be like the best picture quality out there. I mean, this is only, I never mentioned this, I bought it off of eBay for like 20 bucks or 25 bucks or something like that. It came from China, so, but this is the only camera I could find that would fit for a Toyota Emblem. So I'll put a link down below if you guys are interested or not. It's just cool to have this on here. So that way if you want, you can just pull that camera up or anytime you want. So, and the way I have it linked to, I have it linked, I connected to a button on my steering wheel. So I press the button here, then it brings up the front camera there. So one thing I am noticing, I don't know, you guys will probably see it too, it's like, it's not straight on the screen. So, and I tried to mess with it in the front a little bit, but I can't get it to work. It might have been the way I hot glued it to the back. It might have been twisted just a little bit, but it's not a big deal for me. But if you want it to be completely straight, you might want to like double check or something to get it on here before you hot glue it, so that way you know you're straight. So, but if you're curious how to wire it up with a button on the steering wheel, I'll show you that real quick. You can go to your settings, go to general, then on here you scroll down until you see your steering wheel settings, and then I have a camera icon right here, and I just hold down this button and then press the camera button on the screen, and then it will link that button to that. So since I don't use the calling on here, that's what I'm using the voice button on here for. You could use any button you want, mode button, any of these to link it to the camera. So, but I chose the voice button just because I don't use it, so might as well. But now I'm gonna go in the front and I'm gonna put some loom, some plastic loom around those wires to make them look better, and then we'll wrap this up. Alright, so I just used some of this wire loom, and I just wrapped up my stuff to go all the way in the back. Now it doesn't look nearly much out of place as it did earlier with the yellow. Alright you guys, finally got it all installed. Alright, finally got it all installed. Looks good. You can see it. Honestly, it blends in pretty good. So then coming in here, I got it already turned on. I can just turn it off with a button. So you can go home. Now what's cool too is you can set this up to, you can go in reverse, and then after you go in reverse, it'll click on the front camera so you can see right in front of you, and it'll do that for like 5 seconds or so. And then it'll kick up 5-10 seconds, something like that. So every time you do that, and you can change that if you want to, but it's in the settings. If you go to cancel the reverse into front view, if you have that off, it won't do it. But I'm gonna keep it on. I think it's a pretty cool feature to have. So, because a lot of modern cars do that. When you go to reverse and then pop it into drive, it'll bring the front camera up for a little bit. Alright guys, so that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It wasn't too hard to install that camera, so, but if you guys have any questions, drop them down below. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.